Why did God choose Abraham? This question has echoed through millennia, and the answer is foundational to Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. Abraham wasn't a king, a conqueror, or a celebrity of his time. He was just a man from Ur of the Chaldees, living in a world steeped in polytheism. So, what made him so special? The story begins not with Abraham's greatness, but with God's sovereign choice and a promise that would change the course of human history. God called Abram, as he was then known, to leave his home, his family, and everything he knew. The instruction was simple, yet profound. Go to the land I will show you. And with this command came an incredible sevenfold promise. God would make him into a great nation, bless him, make his name great, make him a blessing, bless those who blessed him, curse those who cursed him. And through him, all the families of the earth would be blessed. This is the Abrahamic covenant, a unilateral promise from God to humanity, with Abraham as its vessel. Imagine the sheer audacity of this call. Leave your security, your identity, your entire support system for an unknown destination based on the word of a God you are just getting to know. Yet, Genesis tells us, so Abram went, as the Lord had told him. This act of obedience, this step into the unknown, is the first glimpse we get of Abraham's defining characteristic, his faith. Years passed. Abraham and his wife Sarai were getting older, and the promised heir, the very foundation of the great nation, was nowhere in sight. Doubt would be natural, right? This is where we come to one of the most pivotal moments in Scripture. In Genesis chapter 15, the setting is intimate, almost like a private conversation between a man and his God. Abram expresses his deepest anxiety. Sovereign Lord, what can you give me since I remain childless? He was rich, he was successful, but the one thing that mattered most, the promise, seemed impossible. God's response is breathtaking. He takes Abram outside under the vast, clear desert sky. Look up at the heavens and count the stars. Indeed, you can count them. Then he says, so shall your offspring be. Think about that. God doesn't offer a logical proof or a detailed timeline. He offers a picture, a vision of impossibility. He asks Abram to look at the countless stars and see his family. And right here, we find the verse that the Apostle Paul would later build his entire theology of salvation upon. Genesis 15:6. Abram believed the Lord, and he credited it to him as righteousness. This is huge. Abraham wasn't declared righteous because he was perfect, or because he performed some great deed, or followed a set of laws. The law of Moses wouldn't exist for another 400 years. He was declared righteous simply because he believed God's promise. He took God at his word, even when it defied all logic and human experience. This is the heart of justification by faith. It's not about what we do for God, but about trusting what God has promised to do for us. But God doesn't stop there. He knows Abraham is human. He knows that faith, even strong faith, needs tangible assurance. So, Abraham asks for it. Sovereign Lord, how can I know that I will gain possession of it? He's asking for a sign, a confirmation of the covenant. What follows is one of the most mysterious and profound ceremonies in the entire Bible. God instructs Abraham to prepare a specific set of animals: a heifer, a goat, a ram, a dove, and a young pigeon. Abraham cuts the larger animals in two and arranges the halves opposite each other, creating a grisly path between them. This was a known ancient Near Eastern ritual for making a covenant, a treaty. It was called a covenant cutting. The two parties would walk together between the pieces of the animals, essentially saying, if I break this covenant, may I become like these animals. It was the most solemn oath you could make, a self-maledictory oath. As the sun sets, a deep, terrifying darkness falls over Abraham. This isn't just the absence of light. It's a supernatural dread, a palpable sense of the holy and the awesome. Then, in the darkness, something incredible happens. A smoking firepot and a blazing torch symbols of God's own presence. The Shekinah glory pass between the pieces of the animals. But here's the most important detail. Abraham doesn't walk through. Only God does. This is the mind-blowing part of the story. By walking through the pieces alone, God is taking the entire burden of the covenant upon himself. He is saying, Abraham, this promise depends entirely on me, not you. If this covenant is ever broken, I will bear the curse. I will be the one torn apart. This is a unilateral, unconditional covenant of pure grace. God is binding himself to his promise to Abraham and his descendants forever. The implications are staggering. This ancient ceremony points forward through the corridors of time to another moment of terrifying darkness. On a hill called Calvary, it points to a time when God, in the person of Jesus Christ, would literally allow himself to be torn apart to uphold his covenant promise and to make a way for all of us, the spiritual descendants of Abraham, to be reconciled to him. The covenant God made with Abraham was not just about land and descendants. It was about redemption for the whole world. Abraham's faith wasn't a one-time event. It was a journey. He wavered. He made mistakes. Think of Hagar and Ishmael, or when he lied about Sarah being his sister. He was flawed, just like us. But through it all, he kept returning to the promise. He learned to trust God's character even when he couldn't see God's plan. His life became a testament to the fact that God's faithfulness is greater than our faithlessness. That's why God chose Abraham. Not because of who Abraham was, but because of who God is. God chose a flawed, ordinary man to demonstrate his extraordinary grace and faithfulness. He wanted to show the world that a relationship with him is based on his promise and our trust, not our performance. Abraham's story is our story. It invites us to look away from our own limitations and, like him, look up at the stars. Believe the impossible promises of God and find our righteousness in faith alone. So the next time you look up at a starry night, remember Abraham, remember the promise,
and remember the God who walks alone through the darkness to guarantee his covenant with you. He was chosen because he believed. Before the law, before circumcision, before the nation, there was faith. And that faith made him the father of nations. Subscribe to the Tanakh for more deep biblical theology explained simply and powerfully.